Why Japanese elders never lose strength? It's just 5 movements. Watch an 85-year-old Japanese grandmother in Tokyo. She squats down to the floor to retrieve her shopping bag, stands back up without touching anything for support, and walks away with the posture of someone half her age. Now watch the average 60-year-old American struggle to get out of a low chair. This isn't genetics. This isn't luck. This is the result of 5 specific movements that Japanese elders practice so consistently they don't even think of them as exercise anymore. Here's what most people don't know. After age 30, you lose 3 to 8% of your muscle mass every decade. The medical term is sarcopenia, and it's the reason 70% of Americans over 65 need assistance with basic daily activities. But in Japan, 80-year-olds are still gardening, still climbing stairs, still living independently. These aren't complicated exercises requiring gym equipment. They're movement patterns that work with your body's natural design. Drop a quick comment and tell me your biggest strength challenge right now and hit subscribe so you never miss these secrets. Today, I'm breaking down these exact 5 movements because the goal isn't just living longer, it's living stronger. Let's start with the movement that rebuilds the foundation of all human strength. Try standing on one leg right now. Go ahead, I'll wait. Most people start wobbling within 5 seconds. This single leg strength is what separates independent elders from those who need assistance with walking. And Tai Chi walking rebuilds it from the ground up. This movement comes from ancient Taoist practices that made their way into Japanese parks and community centers during the early 1900s. You'll see groups of Japanese elders practicing this every morning, moving so slowly it looks like they're walking through honey. Here's why this matters. Every time you walk normally, you're actually balancing on one leg for a split second with each step. As we age, this single leg phase gets shorter and shakier. We start shuffling, taking smaller steps, losing confidence. Tai Chi walking reverses this pattern by forcing you to control that single leg balance position deliberately. Here's how to do it. Stand with your feet hip-width apart. Shift all your weight onto your left leg, really feeling that foot press into the ground. Now slowly, and I mean slowly, lift your right foot just an inch off the floor. Take 10 to 15 seconds to shift your weight forward and place that right foot down heel first. Your knee should stay soft, slightly bent, never locked. What makes this so powerful is the eccentric muscle control. When you move this slowly, you're recruiting more motor units in your leg muscles than fast walking ever could. You're also forcing your ankle stabilizers and deep hip muscles to wake up and work. These are the exact muscles that prevent falls. Start with just 30 seconds of Tai Chi walking, maybe 5 to 6 steps total. Use a wall or counter for light fingertip support if you need it. The goal isn't speed, it's control. As you get stronger, work up to 3 to 5 minutes. Japanese Tai Chi practitioners can hold a single leg position mid-step for 2 full minutes without wavering. Now that you've activated your leg strength and balance system, we need to address the movement most people lose first, and it's the one that determines whether you'll stay independent or not. Here's something most people don't realize. Traditional Japanese homes have very little furniture that requires sitting. Elders get up and down from the floor 20 to 30 times every single day. This movement pattern maintains hip and leg strength that Western elders completely lose. This is Seiza sit to stand, and it might be the most important movement you learn today. There's a Brazilian study that tracked over 2,000 adults and found something remarkable. The ability to get up from the floor without using your hands is one of the strongest predictors of longevity. People who couldn't do it had 5 to 6 times higher mortality rates over the next 6 years. Think about that. Your ability to get off the floor literally predicts how long you'll live independently. Here's the movement. Start by kneeling on the floor with your knees together. Fold your feet so the tops are flat on the ground, toes pointing backward. Slowly lower your hips until you're sitting on your heels. This is Seiza, the traditional Japanese sitting position. Now, here's where it gets challenging. From this seated position, shift your weight forward onto your knees and the balls of your feet. Engage your quadriceps and glutes. and press through your legs to stand up. The key is controlling the movement both up and down. Coming back down should be just as controlled as standing up. What makes this so effective is the intense muscle activation. Your quads and glutes have to work through a complete range of motion under load. But here's what's fascinating. Most Western adults lose this ability not because they physically can't do it, but because they never practice it. We've created a chair-dependent lifestyle that lets these muscles atrophy. The most common mistake I see is people trying to stand up too quickly and losing balance. Slow down. Think of it as a 3-second rise and a 3-second descent. If Seiza feels too intense on your knees right now, place a firm cushion between your heels and your hips. You can also use a chair or wall for hand support. Start with 3 to 5 repetitions, resting between each one. As you build strength, work toward 10 consecutive repetitions without support. Your lower body is waking up, but now let's address the upper body strength most people ignore until they can't lift their arms overhead anymore. Think about the last time you tried to put something heavy on a high shelf or pull open a stuck drawer. Could you do it easily? Most people over 60 lose the ability to lift their arms fully overhead or pull objects toward them with any real force. Simple movements like putting dishes away or opening heavy doors become impossible. This movement reverses that decline using nothing but a towel. Towel pull isometrics came from Japanese martial arts resistance training and was later adapted by physical therapists. The genius of this technique is that it builds real strength without putting stress on your joints. No weights, no machines, no risk of injury. Here's what makes isometrics different. Instead of moving through a range of motion like traditional exercises, you're creating tension while staying completely still. This activates your muscles intensely, without the joint compression that causes pain in older adults. Grab any towel and hold it at shoulder width with both hands. Now here's the key. Pull outward on the towel with constant tension, like you're trying to rip it apart. Don't yank. Just steady, firm pressure. You should feel your chest, shoulders, and upper back all engage immediately. Hold this tension for 20 to 30 seconds. Breathe normally. Don't hold your breath. That's one of the biggest mistakes people make with isometrics. They tense up everything, including their breathing. Keep your jaw relaxed, your neck soft, and just focus the tension in your arms and shoulders. Now, change positions. Hold the towel overhead and pull outward. Then try it behind your back at waist level. Each position works different angles of your shoulder and upper back muscles. Do 2 sets of each position. What's remarkable about this is how it activates your rotator cuff muscles, the small stabilizers that keep your shoulder joint healthy. These muscles weaken with age and create that frozen shoulder feeling. But isometric training strengthens them without the risk of injury from lifting weights. Research shows that isometric training also maintains bone density in your shoulders and arms. Your tension level should be about 70 to 80% of your maximum effort. As you get stronger, increase your hold time to 45 to 60 seconds per position. We've rebuilt leg and arm strength, but there's one ability that prevents 90% of elderly injuries, and most people completely ignore it. 1 in 3 adults over 65 falls each year. Falls are the leading cause of loss of independence in older adults. But here's what's fascinating. Japanese elders practice single-leg balance while doing everyday tasks, brushing their teeth, waiting for tea to steep, standing in line at the store. They don't think of it as exercise. It's just something they do. This is single-leg balance hold, and recent research shows that your ability to hold this position for just 10 seconds is directly correlated with longevity. Think of balance as your body's early warning system. When it starts to decline, everything else follows. Here's why balance deteriorates with age. Your vestibular system, the balance center in your inner ear, weakens. Your proprioception, which is how your body senses where it is in space, becomes less accurate. And your stabilizer muscles, especially around your ankles and hips, stop firing correctly. The result is that wobbly, uncertain feeling that makes people afraid to move confidently. But balance is trainable at any age. Here's how to practice this safely. Stand next to a wall or sturdy counter. Shift your weight onto your left leg and lift your right foot just a few inches off the ground. You can bend your knee and bring your foot behind you, or keep your leg relatively straight in front. Either works. The key is keeping your standing leg slightly bent, never locked. Engage your core. Find a spot on the wall at eye level and focus on it. This visual anchor helps tremendously. Your standing foot should feel like it's gripping the floor, actively pressing down through all four corners. Start by holding the wall or counter for support, 20 to 30 seconds on each leg. As you improve, move to just fingertip contact. Then try it with no support at all, working up to 45 to 60 seconds per leg. Here's where it gets interesting. Once you can hold 60 seconds comfortably, try closing your eyes for 10 to 15 seconds. This forces your brain to rely purely on proprioception without visual input. It's dramatically harder. The daily integration is what makes this powerful. Practice while you're cooking dinner, while you're on the phone, during your morning routine. These small moments add up to significant balance improvement. The final movement ties everything together and tests whether you've truly maintained functional strength or just the illusion of it. Here's a simple question. When was the last time you got down on the floor and back up without using your hands or furniture? If you can't remember, you're not alone. Most adults stop doing this completely by their 50s. But here's what most people don't know. This single ability is the strongest predictor of how long you'll maintain independence. It's called the sitting-rising test, and researchers found that people who couldn't get up from the floor without support had dramatically higher mortality rates than those who could. Floor transitions represent the integration of everything we've covered: strength, balance, flexibility, and coordination, all working together. Japanese elders maintain this ability naturally because traditional floor-based living requires it dozens of times daily. Let me break down the movement sequence. Start standing tall. From here, you're going to lower yourself to the floor in a controlled way. You can step into a lunge position, then lower your back knee to the ground, or you can go into a kneeling position with both knees down. Either path works. From kneeling, you can sit back onto your heels, then shift to sitting on the floor. The descent should take 5 to 10 seconds. No dropping or falling. Complete control. Now reverse it. From sitting, shift your weight forward and come up onto your knees. Press through your legs to stand, using the same controlled movement. This ascent should also take 5 to 10 seconds. What makes this so challenging is that every major muscle group has to fire in the right sequence. Your quads, glutes, core, hip stabilizers, and even your upper back all coordinate to make this happen. It's also a cognitive challenge. Your brain has to plan the movement and adjust in real time. Here's the modification approach. If you need support right now, use a chair. Place one hand on the seat during your descent and ascent. As you build confidence over the next few weeks, reduce that support to just fingertip contact. Then try it without any support at all. Start with 3 to 5 transitions with rest between each. The goal for week 1 and 2 is just learning the pattern. Week 3 and 4, challenge yourself to reduce support. By month 2, you should be exploring different ways to get down and up. The psychological breakthrough here is huge. Conquering the fear of the floor restores confidence that ripples into everything else. Playing with grandchildren, gardening, retrieving dropped items without calling for help. Now let me show you exactly how to put these 5 movements together into a daily routine that actually fits your real life. Remember that 85-year-old Japanese grandmother we started with? She didn't get that strength from genetics or luck. She got it from doing these 5 movements so consistently that they became part of her daily life, not something she had to motivate herself to do. These movements take 12 minutes total, 6 minutes in the morning, 6 minutes in the evening, or all at once, if that works better for you. The Japanese concept of keizoku wa chikara nari means continuation is strength. Small daily actions compound into life-changing results. This isn't about exercise. It's about reclaiming the movement patterns your body was designed to perform. Start today, because your 85-year-old self is counting on you. Drop a comment right now and tell me which of these 5 movements seems most challenging for you. I read every comment, and I'll give you specific tips for your situation. And if we reach 200 comments, I'll reveal the Japanese breathing technique that amplifies these benefits by 40%. Hit that subscribe button so you never miss the next video. We've got more secrets coming your way.